I think it's her father. Why can't they find her pops, man?
Because he's probably dead. His body will come popping up in the last reel somewhere. Eyes gouged out, fingers cut off, teeth knocked out. See, the police are always off track with this shit. If they watch Prom Night, they'd save time. There's a formula to it. A very simple formula. Everybody's a suspect.
Welcome to yet another episode of What the Hell Did We Just Watch? I'm your host, Lou Motional Lou. I'm here. Yes, John?
What? I'm listening to you.
Why are you pointing at me?
I'm not pointing at you. I'm not.
We're watching way too many horror movies for you to point at me with a weird-ass eerie look on your face. I'm scared.
No, I'm sorry.
All right,
I'm
good.
sorry.
Well, like I said, the Lou Motional Lou is here, and episode number 17. Woo, we're here. Yeah. And formalities, please, to my left. Who do we got from my left?
We got your boy Horror God.
Oh, Sean.
And Karen.
Sean and Karen. We're here. Woohoo.
Oh, shoot.
What? Yo, it's not your turn yet. Who we
Piss
got?
in your
Keep it
pants.
Outrageous O.
Outrageous. So welcome to the show.
Yeah, I'm back.
John, I know you were scared. You didn't need to wet yourself either.
And who we got who pee on himself? It's always going to be this guy, too. That
For everybody that's listening to this right now, I spilt water on myself, and it came out looking like I peed on myself. But
Yeah,
apparently, I am the frightful one now because I scared Lou. Because he just got done watching a scary movie, and all of a sudden he's just like, "Oh, why are you pointing at me? Oh,
It's
I'm
true.
I'm scared.
But then you peed on yourself.
I just watched a scary movie, and you're giving me an eerie look.
Well, in my defense, I did not watch one scary movie. I saw two scary movies.
And because it's not Friday.
It's not Friday night.
But yes,
Actually sounds
I am
really
on
good.
the show once again.
Welcome back.
Yes.
No, he's again another week being not so good looking, and this time he peed on himself.
I really wanted.
It's a tragedy.
You know what it was? He was so relaxed because he fell asleep. Then he just let it go.
You know, that's twice. That's twice in 1 week. I mean, in an episode. I mean,
No, that's not true.
2 times in a row.
That's not
man.
true.
But I'll allow it because you claim to have done the
No,
reading.
I have seen.
You've done the reading.
I've done the reading.
Okay, good.
Oh,
That's very
for he's a witness too because
Who's he?
The horror god.
The horror god, Sean.
Like I was saying before, we have horror god on the show. He has, he's a very good person when it comes to, horror movies, horror flicks, horror anything, and yeah. So
Well, we'll see. He is wearing a Halloween shirt.
but my
after all.
whole point was when actually, you know what? Get to what you guys say.
Get to it, because this is actually the very first time on this episode, on this show, actually, I'm sorry. It's the very first time that we're actually not doing one movie, but we're doing two movies. Two movies were done in one podcast. That's actually our agenda. That's what we want to do, because I recently got an email from a fan. His name is Philip Rivera. And Philip Rivera, he sent me an email saying, hey, do you like Halloween? And I'm like, what the hell did we just watch? And for me to say that I've never seen Halloween is kind of like a weird thing. And he was like, oh, please, can you do it for an episode? We'd love to hear your opinion on it. And I was like, you know what? I don't do popular films because this is considered a pop horror film. You like, if you watch horror films, this is kind of like, you've seen it. Yeah. And so I would have never chosen it. So, but as a fan request, I'll do it. If you want to hear my opinion on it, I'll do it. It doesn't matter what movie it is. If you want to, want me to do it for Scream or for Jeepers Creepers, not so good looking John, because that's his favorite horror movie of all time.
It's not my favorite horror movie of all time.
Well, it could be. But yes, I will be open to do anyone's request at any time and have anybody else say what they need to feel about the film. But this time, which was weird because I wasn't going to show the movie. That's how popular this film is. I thought I was gonna come over, jump in, and do the podcast, and we were gonna talk about it because I didn't think anybody in this group didn't see it. And guess the hell what? We have a person here that has never seen Halloween, and I say, holy shit, man! I got a reason to show it. Outrageous O has never seen Halloween.
Correct. Never seen it.
That's crazy. Like, it boggles my mind. That's like saying you never seen the Never-Ending Story. Don't tell me you didn't see that movie.
I've only watched 10 minutes of that film.
Jesus Christ, yo! I need to build this guy from the ground up, just like I told him earlier. He needs to be taught well. Before I die, you need to have like all these movies.
Well, the reason why is because the VHS, the bootleggers that we got from, it broke at 10-minute lapse.
Makes sense. But I am here. That's what this show is about. I'm here to inform and make sure that when you walk that empty vast of apocalyptic land we call Earth, that you will have the knowledge of movies that I have, so that way you can, preach the good word out there in the earth. Are we all good with that, yo? Like, we need that in our lives. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we watched Halloween, and not only did we watch Halloween, but we watched Halloween 2. But can anybody tell me why we did that?
Because of the fan request? Oh, because...
No, why we did 2 movies.
Because the
Knock
sequel...
2 outs. 2 movies out
No,
and 1.
because...
So to speak. Why, John? Why did we watch 2 Halloween movies?
Because it takes place at the same time as the first one.
What do you mean by same time?
Well, right after. Right after the first one. Yeah, literally
It
right
takes
after.
place on the same night. The night continued. And that's why we said, fuck it, let's watch 2 movies at once. But it was actually your idea, John.
It was.
It was your idea. And I thought, again, because I thought maybe, you saw Halloween 2, and I was like, you know what, hell yeah, man, John's
No, I haven't seen the
this
second
fucking
one.
guy's never seen Halloween 2.
What the hell is this world coming to?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sorry.
I'm very disappointed in you.
I couldn't believe it.
Take her in
Like,
the
I'm
back
gonna
and
be honest
smack you.
Yeah. Sean knows my pain. I can't believe it. There's 2 people here. One has never seen Halloween 1 or 2, but I understand why he wouldn't see part 2 if he never saw part 1. And then we got one that's seen part 1, and he's never seen any sequel after that. Did you ever see any sequel after?
Yeah.
Like 4? The recursive
Yeah,
Michael Myers,
like I
whatever?
just haven't seen 2.
Yeah. You really never saw 2?
No.
It's bananas. Why?
I just never got a chance to. Like, I just never... I don't know. It's weird. I can't really explain it. Like, I just never really... I saw the first one. I saw the fourth one. I saw Halloween H2O.
You just jump all over the place.
I do.
You're
it's
horrible when it comes to sequels.
No, just
You're
for
not
that.
that
Just
kinda
for
guy.
that. I'm not a good horror person. I'm not.
That's good. So what I'm gonna do real quick, and Outrageous O will be the last person that I ask, but I'm gonna ask the obvious 2. Karen, Sean, what did you think about watching Halloween 1 and 2 back to back as one movie? I know you have done it before, obviously.
A couple 100 times, yes.
Yeah, you're on my boat where
But
I see it yearly.
It's always good to watch it on a nice cold October night, though.
Let me ask you a quick question. When, if you remember, was the first time you ever watched Halloween?
When I was 7 years old.
7? That old? You go? That young? And Karen, around the same age. Maybe we shouldn't have been watching any of that stuff. Yeah. Were you guys petrified like I was when I was young when I saw it? I was scared of shit. Come on, you can't tell me y'all kids like me. I was kids, and watching a horror movie, it was just not the best of times for me. But I also could not stop watching. That's what I'm saying. I shouldn't have been.
Pet Sematary did that.
Yeah, Pet Sematary did that.
This movie did that for me.
Huh?
This movie did that for me. I used to sneak
Halloween?
up at night.
Used to keep you up at night?
No, I'd sneak up at night. That's the only time
Oh,
I'd
just to watch
was,
it?
like,
Nice.
on video.
Okay. I got you. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
John, what did you think of Halloween? You say you've seen it.
I didn't like.
wanna know
I
your
didn't like
opinion.
it.
You didn't like Halloween?
I
You
didn't
never
like the first one.
You never liked the first one? Really?
No,
You're not joking?
I'm not kidding with you.
For the audience?
For the audience, like it's to each his own. Like
Of course.
because. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh man, that was the best horror movie I've ever seen in my entire life. But no, I'm just like,
Sure as hell, I know that.
but
It's not
like
that.
it's too dragged out. But I guess the second one now is,
Picks it up.
picks it up.
I mean, that's what happens with part 2s. You know, they gotta amp it up. If you
Part 2 is one of the best sequels too.
Now, let me ask outrageous. Wait, real quick. John,
What's up?
so you never liked Halloween ever? Like, since
Nah.
the day you seen it till now?
Nah, like,
Even
the only
watching
reason-
it with part 2 doesn't make it better?
The only way I watched it was, if somebody, like, if one of my friends were to, like, put it on or something
Yeah,
like that.
and
That's
you
the
watch
only-
it, but
yeah.
you're not taking it out of your movie, whatever.
It was
and then say,
never.
"Yo."
I was never big into it.
Yeah,
I
gotcha,
just
gotcha.
couldn't do it.
Outrageous! Oh, please tell me! Oh my God, did you get scared? Were you scared with the guy with a knife?
No.
No. Oh my God, we didn't
Well,
get
like
you this time.
like the first one.
Yeah, speaking of the first one.
The first one, talking on the first one, it was interesting because I had no idea what it was about.
It was totally off
yeah,
of like
exactly.
what you thought in your mind what it was, right?
Like I said, the only thing I knew about the movie was a guy in a white mask.
That's it?
That's it. I didn't know why or who or what he
Oh,
did.
that's pretty
nothing.
fucking cool. After all these years,
After
it
all
was
these
never
years, yeah.
kind of quote unquote spoiled for you.
No, nothing. So I was okay. So I watched it completely. I gave it a chance, and I was interested in some parts, but then I felt like kind of lost my interest towards the end of it.
Yeah.
And then that's what I'll say on that part. And I'm not a big fan of slash horror flicks.
You don't like slashers.
Because it's kind of like the same repetitive thing.
Okay, I got you. But how do you feel about the fact that this is considered like the first slasher film, so to speak?
Well,
Or what brought it to the map where people say, yo, we need to do that more often?
well, because I actually, now we're talking on slasher flicks. I actually seen a film a while back called Black Christmas.
Yeah, I know that movie.
I think it was
It's a little bit before.
72,
Yeah.
around that era. And what I actually did like it, not too much, but I was like, this is random.
Mm-hmm.
You got this crazy guy on the loose, kind of similar to this film.
That was usually the way they made horror
Yeah.
movies back then.
And the thing I noticed that watching that film, like he actually just like killed with
Yeah.
random things, and I actually tend to notice that they use knives or blunt objects. Or whatever.
That's what makes it the slasher.
Exactly correct.
You know, Freddy Krueger. The reason why his movies are also considered slasher films is because of the use of finger knives.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you use with a knife, if you're killing with a knife, your movie's a slasher flick.
Hold on for a second. Let me just add this. Would you consider Edward Scissorhands a slasher?
No, unfortunately not. I consider that a fairy tale. I love that movie.
Yeah, like a Disney.
Well, but he killed somebody with his fingers.
By accident, Jesus Christ! Let's not start accusing
I'm
poor
just-
Edward, for God's sakes.
I'm just messing. That's what the. Sorry.
He walked into his hands, for God's sakes. Poor guy. But yeah, slasher flicks.
Yeah, so like I said, and in that one, I think in Black Christmas, the guy actually wins the villain. You know.
In what? In Black
If
Christmas?
I remember correctly, yeah. Doesn't
Yeah.
he win? Like he kills everyone. And he walks
Vaguely,
away,
I
that's it.
remember
He's
vaguely.
gone, he walks off. So
Yeah.
I kind of was disappointed when I saw Halloween. I kind of expected the same to be like that.
Well, he kind of did. He
Kinda
walked
did,
away.
Yeah, he walked away. But then they kind of made like a mystery around his like, oh wow, okay, what is
Yeah.
a human, a monster, like, you know.
Yeah, they kept that open, and then
Exactly.
in the sequel, you get to learn.
Yeah, and in the sequel, not to drag out my time to talk, kind of like I was disappointed, very disappointed on
The second film?
The second film,
Yeah.
like there were parts where I was just okay, you had me, then you lost me, you know. Kind of kept the same thing, but you didn't add anything more to his character, you know.
Just one thing
Yeah.
on why he's not dying.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
I don't know if you remember in the film why he wasn't dying.
Uh,
It's the Sam Hain thing. That part in the class, they're talking about Sam Hain.
with the legend that he whatever.
Yeah,
the ritual.
apparently while he was in the Sean, you can help me out here. When he was in the
Yeah, he
psychiatric
said
ward.
he knew him for 15
Yes, but
years.
that goes back to a couple sequels to understand that
Yeah,
story.
yeah, it
Yeah,
keeps,
that's
it
Be
keeps
honest.
it moving. But
It
like,
gets at an interesting story,
Yeah,
but
yeah, because I kind of disappointed. He said, "Yo, I know him for 15 years." I'm like, "Damn." 15
yeah, the
years?
psychiatrist.
Like,
He's been literally like he's been a he's been psychiatrically evaluating him ever since he was brought in.
well, he brought up a good point about Black Christmas. If you listen to John Carpenter's interviews, he was inspired by Black Christmas before he made Halloween, and he
Yeah.
got the big idea of the opening scene
Yeah.
from Black Christmas, and that's why it actually started a really good slasher genre.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to see those over a lot of these boring, overrated paranormal movies that are just garbage. Like, each one is the same thing. At least with a slasher, different person, it's a different story behind it. I mean, nobody wants to see these stupid ghost movies anymore. They died out in the 90s, so I think it's time to have a new one.
Yeah, I'm exactly like you, Sean. I'm actually, in terms of horror films, slasher films are my favorite.
Really?
Meaning,
Agreed,
the
yeah.
reason why is like Halloween. If you take the part out that's supernatural, it's pretty realistic. Guy breaks out of a psychiatric ward to continue off where he left off. You know what I mean? Like he killed his sister. His motive was to keep continuing. Anybody that from his bloodline, that was where it's from.
It's always in the family too.
Yeah,
And I noticed in certain, like, well, actually, all the slasher films, like, you never see a gun involved. It's
No.
always a knife over a gun.
yes.
Like, I'm like, really? Like, the cop eventually, he'll hit.
He'll be the one with the gun.
Yeah.
Maniac Cop.
Yeah.
The only exception.
yeah.
And then there's
Yeah.
never been a gun.
You know?
But yeah, like knife is the weapon of choice for the killer.
Correct.
You know what I mean? But like I said, the only reason why I love slasher films is because there's a sense of realism. Like even like a Nightmare on Elm Street, where you got this child killer that kills with knives, that kills with like the finger knives, and then it becomes supernatural where he's like killing people in people's dreams. But he, in a sense, was a child killer who killed kids with that. And so with Halloween, it's the same thing. He killed his sister with a knife. And that's just his motive. That's the way he does. He also does it in his costume because that's how he killed his sister, was in costume. You know what I mean? So it's like he's keeping up with this like tradition with himself. John, you have anything to add to that since you were the one sleeping? You say you did the homework.
Yeah. My thing about this, the Halloween, I thought he was a really interesting character. You know, like as far as like how like he just you don't know much about him. Mm-hmm. And he's walking around just randomly. Like, you could see the human side of him until, shit gets real.
Yeah.
And then you wonder, like, about, like, the outrageous O said and Horror God said, like, the mystery around him. Like, like, I thought that was cool. But I think it's the fact that how they used to do movies in the 70s, like, they dragged a lot of things out. Which is why, I guess, for me, anyway, it was slow.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah, like, because women always get killed. Now, are
Yeah.
they victims of sex? Like, because they're either the guy who does it, he's a nerd, he can't get the hot girl or whatever. No, it's that he always tends to kill.
It was that formula.
All films.
Do you remember in Fright Night, the scene? You obviously saw it. The scene in Fright Night when Charlie Brewster goes to visit Peter Vincent at the movie set.
Yes.
Not the movie set, but like when he was leaving, and he was fired. He was like, apparently they all teenagers want to see is young virgins getting hacked up by men in ski masks.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
That was basically, this movie is where you're seeing that is going to. We wanted to see, that movie made us want to see virgins getting hacked up by people in masks. Yes. You know what I'm saying? After Halloween, that's what happened. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's what brought it out. And that's where Fright Night was pretty cool because it was kind of like living through that era. And he's supposed to be the old school era kind of guy. You know what I mean? So, but John keeps saying that it dragged out. And
The first one did.
Yeah, the first one. I'm going to speak about the first one on parts that I feel were, I think, pretty scary. Outrageous O and I, we spoke a little bit about it.
No, like I meant like I don't mean like the whole movie.
No,
I'm
I know
talking about
that.
like the very
Yeah.
beginning, like where like just random things like you catch him driving a car.
That's what I was going to tell you.
You
I
know
knew
what I'm
that
saying?
you kind of meant that. Those scenes I actually found pretty scary.
Because they're scared to a point because you see
Yeah, to a point.
you see the human side of him. Like it's not like not to bring up other characters, but like Jason. You know how Jason just, no matter how fast you run, you fall, and all of a sudden out of nowhere it's just like he's there.
Well, he's supernatural.
Okay,
now,
but
we're led to believe Michael Myers is not supernatural. He's a regular guy, which he was.
But
he's a regular guy that broke out of a psychiatric
I
ward
want
to
to know
kill.
what gym he went to because he picked up that guy with one hand.
Yeah.
One
in the
Yeah.
kitchen. Yeah.
but here
So that's what I'm saying. I got confused between supernatural and human.
Well,
which
but here's
is-
the thing though. As the story progresses, he does. To me, he didn't become human anymore. You get what I'm saying? Like as more shit went on.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting stabbed, he's getting shot,
but he
nothing
becomes
happened
more
else.
demonic as it comes.
Again, spoiler ahead. Just watch the 6th movie. Explains everything.
Of course it does, because apparently he goes through
It's
a
that
ritual.
specific one. None of the other ones.
No.
You got to watch the 6th one, and
Yeah.
you'll
See,
understand
look
it
how
way
far
better.
you got to go down to actually get that. But this
Paul
is
Rudd's
actually,
debut in horror, by the way.
Paul Rudd was in that movie. Ant-Man.
Oh.
Yeah, he was. That was his movie debut. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I personally think that the supernatural part of Halloween is actually what kills the first Halloween in terms of what it's. I feel what it's supposed to be. Not saying that to each your own with the sequels and in terms of how they world build, and this goes with Friday the 13th and A Nightmare on Elm Street. In terms, I mean, they were victims of the 80s of being very successful horror characters to make horror sequels, but I always see the first Halloween is. I always try my best to make sure that Michael Myers to me is a real person. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I think that the film would have been more amazing if the guy was real. If the guy, like you say, outrageous soul while we were watching the movie, oh, he's wearing a bulletproof vest. Oh my God, that would have been so amazing. Just the fact that he was a real person killing people from his bloodline.
I have my own theory on part of it. Like in the first one, you see the first two, he's like human and everything.
He is human,
but
I believe he
you
is.
could also. I mean, a theory I
Until
always
he
had
got
is
shot at the end and walked away.
they brought up a lot of witchcraft and everything. He could have
Yeah.
been having a curse on him to make him like unable
that Samhain
to.
shit.
But if you compare it to like a lot of the other slashers, Nightmare on Elm Street has a revenge thing.
Yeah.
Friday 13th revenge thing. That's what makes Halloween good. Is he has no motive. Like that's
well,
what
he
makes
had
it creepy.
one motive, and we didn't know what it was
Exactly until they said.
until the sequel said it. Like, oh shit, yo, that kid was born. Laurie was born 2 years after he was committed. It was the third child that his parents had while he was away.
But how would he know that?
Samhain.
Okay, so here's my theory on that though. He could have like to me, just watching the first two.
Yeah.
He was like a demon possessed. Like,
Yes, pretty much.
You know what I'm saying?
But see, and then this is where we're gonna with the sequel, and this is where a little bit of real talk rant goes into it. I'm not a real big fan of the sequel because of where it goes. I remember when I watched the second one, and I was just like, "Yo, man, oh my God, he's still out there." And in my mind, I just thought there was a rational explanation why he kept getting up, why he wasn't getting killed. And I went with the same theory you did, Outrageous. So I thought he was a man wearing a bulletproof vest. He got a hold of a bulletproof vest, just like how we got a hold of the outfit that he wore. He got a hold of the mask. He got a hold of everything. You know what I mean? And we didn't know exactly who it was. So when I saw the sequel, and then I was like, oh shit, it takes place in the same night. That's pretty amazing. And then they threw in the black magic shit, and I was just like, you lost me.
Okay, wait. Now, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Without let's not.
I'm not counting the sequels. I'm trying to just stick into this one in part 2 world.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So like you just said, knowing where it goes. Now, if you didn't watch the sequels, like we're not even gonna include 3 because like you said,
3 is a standalone.
Yeah.
They were trying to do something different.
Yeah,
with that,
so,
but
like,
you got
for
4
4
and then the rest.
yeah. So let's just say that you didn't see the 4 and the rest.
Mm-hmm.
Would your opinion on the second one be any different?
I stopped after watching part 2. I saw the sequels, but I was not religiously on it. I actually do not own any of the sequels on purpose.
Okay.
I caught my first viewing of all the Halloween films were on USA Network. Growing up, because those films are old. You know what I mean? I enjoyed them for what they were, and they did add some cool shit later on and stuff like that. But I've always been that purist about Halloween, where it was just a simple part of that story. Guy guy kills his sister, grows up, escapes to, at the time in just the first movie, what we're thinking is just him getting back in the mode of killing.
That's why I like the sixth one. It has so much detail to it. And it's kind of like a.
What was part 6 called again?
I think it's called part 6. It's the curse of Michael
Curse of
Myers.
Michael Myers.
But the way
What's
it is
4?
though, like fourth was the return.
The
and
return
then
of Michael Myers.
was,
That's what it is.
but what's good is like you see part of what's going on in the sixth one and the fifth
But
one near the ending.
This is why I got a little weirded off with the sequels. Didn't they stop doing things like continuity errors? Doesn't the movie have continuity errors? Like you got the girl. Then you thought she was gonna be the killer, but then she was not.
She's also a bloodline.
Yeah, she's
from,
a bloodline.
like, that's
but
why
remember
he's
that, sorry to stray a little bit apart. We're just gonna talk real quick. The girl killed, and we were led to believe that the girl was gonna be living on the legacy, but that wasn't the case.
Well,
That's what I'm
obviously,
trying to say.
And then, but you saw also that she has a baby, so it's almost like the bloodline
but it's
continues on.
But that's the part that I'm making. That's what I mean by continuity error.
And then,
she
like,
kills like Michael Myers, and then now she's all right, and she has a kid, and now
But
she's running away.
it's
from
funny,
Michael
though,
Myers
'cause he
when
killed-
she grows up.
He wants to kill all the rest of them, but the baby, on the other hand, he doesn't try to kill the baby. They
No.
want to bring that
Yeah,
to, like, the cult, pretty much, to find
Yeah,
out
the
about
Samhain
getting.
shit.
That's what makes more sense of why he's like that.
that's why I never watched any. Not that I didn't watch, but I wasn't big on it because of the continuity errors. That's all it is, and that movie's not the only. Those movies are not the only one.
I felt that with the
victim
fourth
to
one
that.
a lot.
Yeah,
big
like
time.
I don't. Like I said, Halloween is not the only movie that falls victim to that. Friday the 13th falls very big victim to that, to continuity
Part
errors and shit
five
like
a
that.
lot.
It's like, what are you doing?
Part
Like,
5, to be honest, a lot. Like,
Yeah.
it had nothing
Yeah.
to do with it. It was like a waste of like an hour and a half.
Yeah,
And then you see the ending ends up being like some guy who was like revenging his son. But what
Exactly.
doesn't make sense is that the Tommy guy was getting stalked half
Yeah.
the movie, but then it does not follow through. It's almost like they just splashed that one together.
yeah, it's pretty weird. So that's why I'm trying to keep it encased into this part 1 and part 2 kind of like universe, because it's the only one of the two movies. John Carpenter was the writer and director, and also the composer of Halloween. He actually was the one that did all the music. He did that amazing theme. He just like knew what kind of movie he wanted to make, which is pretty fucking amazing. You never really get that where, you know, the director, the writer is also the composer. Like, he literally made the whole movie by himself, so to speak. Halloween is actually considered an independent film too. Nah,
You could
it wasn't
tell.
Hollywood.
Yeah, you can tell.
Know,
You can
horror
definitely
movies really
tell.
don't get that too much either, especially nowadays.
That was his era.
Yeah, like I can't even tell you the last time I saw a quote unquote independent horror film.
You know,
Independent, where it was like self money. I think the last movie I could tell you was Blair Witch.
No, Paranormal Activity was independent.
Was that an independent?
The
It
first
wasn't-
one.
It
The
wasn't,
first
yeah, the first
one.
Yeah, not the sequels. The
Yeah.
first one was independent.
Was
it was done
independent.
with without the influence of
Yeah,
Hollywood
it was
studio.
it was independent until
Okay, there you go. All right.
I'm pretty
I mean, that's
sure-
why I guess I don't know if you ever noticed that, but independent horror films or horror films that are not done because Hollywood made it, they're usually the ones that are very paid more attention.
You brought up Carpenter, I noticed, but I just like the little Easter egg of one of his other films along with his film that you're watching. So
Yeah.
playing The Thing in one of his most classic slasher movies, I thought was a kind
John
of cool.
Carpenter did the remake of The Thing, or at least in this time. At this time it was he must have gotten the contract with the approval saying, "Hey, man, you're gonna do The Thing," and I think that's why he put it in that movie in
one of his own.
Halloween. He was in the sequel, though he did not direct the sequel. He wrote the sequel, and that also kind of disappoints me a little bit because it was like, did the studio help you write this, or like to help you make more, to be open to more sequels? Like, I always wondered, like, is the ending of the original Halloween your first intentions? Was he supposed to like walk away from the gunshots? At the end of the film, I think that was like that last minute script rewrite and said, hey, don't kill him off. Let's make more sequels, and he left it open. And sure enough, he was the one that kind of like pushed the sequel to, onward and things like that. And then, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the whole supernatural part about Michael Myers. That's why I was never a big fan of the sequels at all. Like, when they made H2O and they try to bring him back, they chopped his fucking head off and they still bring him back. It's like, I'm done. You know what I mean? It's like, I just can't stand that. Like, because you're losing the essence. When you're, like, back to what we were talking about, John, the parts of, like, him stalking is the part that makes it more real.
He doesn't talk. That gives him
in the first one, it was kind of funny.
Really? Like, especially like
Come on, like, how do you not see this dude like hiding behind a bush or anything? You know what I'm saying? Like the way it wasn't the way he was like, it wasn't the fact that he was hiding behind a bush. It was the way he was hiding behind a bush. It was to the point where I was like, okay, what the heck?
where the
man?
hell are you going?
Like, you're in the
when
middle
he's
of
standing in that long hedge and that girl came
Exactly,
and saw.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, we see you.
Hey, man, can you let horror movies have their movie magic, please?
Not some of them just don't. Some of them just don't have that.
It doesn't add up, John.
Some
doesn't
things just don't add up. Like, I don't mean to like.
You like Paranormal Activity?
I do.
Talk about making sense, right?
No, I like the first one.
Trash.
Yeah, right.
Made the Blair Witch look like a straight A movie.
Please, Any blood on the walls, man, you think it's a good movie. Get out of here.
But
Look, he just
all
got
right,
all
let's
the
focus on.
intestines
Hold
falling
on.
out.
Paranormal Activity is nothing but loud sounds.
So is
just
Blair
for the
Witch.
No.
So is Blair Witch.
Do I have to go here?
I love the Blair Witch Project.
I love the Blair Witch. I do too, but I'm just saying, like
I got you.
Okay, but
I'm getting you.
all right.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
I will defend slashers,
I don't
'cause
mean
at
to
least they have
ruin
the jump
Sean's
scare.
baby over here, but I'm just saying. I mean, I'm allowed to have my opinion, and I'm just stating my fact. I'm just
Hey,
staying
man.
fat. Am I not staying
How
fat?
about this one? Remember the scene where the kids are picking on the what's his name? The kid, the main kid. What's his name? When he's being picked on in
Oh,
school.
that one. Tommy, right?
Tommy. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
what. Which they also bring him back.
I'm back on the
com-
Blair
in
Witch
the-
thing, so.
Isn't that Paul Rudd's character, or Tommy? Am I wrong?
Parts and Paul Rudd's. Yeah.
Yeah, Paul Rudd's character is Tommy. Is Tommy.
Never aging Rudd.
Exactly. No, but the scene when those kids are picking on him and that one kid runs off and he gets grabbed by Michael Myers. You didn't think that was like the idea of it is fucking scary? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like that's our killer, bro. He's just like randomly grabbed onto this kid and then he ran off and
Yeah,
he's
you're
like
right.
following Tommy. You know that's what I want to say that I kept in my mind. You know that you can't do that anymore. I don't think that there will be a movie that you will have
you
following
can't.
a child.
Yeah, that's true.
That's gone. That kind of like horror
but that's
aspect
also
of it.
but
That was
that's
a 90s
also
thing.
Yeah, but
Huh?
It's more of a 90s thing. They've done a lot
What?
of those in
The
90s.
following of kids? I think that's when it
The
stopped.
kids, yeah, like the
You know what I mean?
but that's like going back to saying, the way movies were made back then are completely different because of the time era. Like, if you didn't notice how, Michael Myers was just walking into houses with the doors not even locked. Like, like...
Well, they live in my defense, like I said, I live in a town where people don't lock their doors.
Yeah.
Canada is a country known for people not to lock their doors. Believe it or not, I'm not even lying.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? They're not because their crime rate is not redunculous in terms of certain areas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you lived in New York City, you better lock the door when you're fucking in the house.
But that was creepy to me. How he would go
Which
from
part?
how he would go from house to house, just like quiet.
Staring
That
and
was
shit.
that was creepy.
Yeah.
But like just like him, just appearing like popping out of like the woods or something. Like, I'm here. Like Come on.
Is that
It was just it was like funny.
It's 70s
It's
horror.
like Slender
music.
Man. which
Yeah,
is-
exactly.
I read you so like what do you think about that kind of a horror build-up, like the way they did it
a
in
lot of that
Halloween?
in Rosemary's Baby. Two people just walking
Yeah.
up and this poor girl's apartment just chilling. And all of a
Yeah.
sudden, they just like ran right up there like
Yeah.
uninvited. So it makes sense. I think it must have been a 70s like
It's
cliche
the thing,
thing.
because that's the way they made horror movies, where they didn't have to kill somebody every 5 seconds.
Yeah, because 80s was more of like just rock and roll pretty much in a lot of these.
rock and roll and murder, but and
sex,
in
pizza.
The 90s,
Yeah.
it was
I mean, if you wanted to see a nice pair of boobs and some
Yeah.
slashing, you're gonna get all that in this.
and
film.
even there we don't get that like the way that people think about it, or like when they joke about it. Oh, there's boobs everywhere.
Oh,
And
by the way, that was the worst sex scene I've ever seen in my
Yo,
life.
stop playing. That's how you have sex. Don't play yourself.
Yo,
I
she
know.
was moaning.
I heard.
They didn't do anything. That's what
I
was
heard
laughing.
that's what you do.
I was dying,
Ooh.
and she was still moaning as she was getting killed. That was the funniest thing. Like, how do you moan when you're
And
getting killed?
she
and
was
having
moaning
sex
like
the
the way
same
she was getting killed when she was
Yeah.
getting choked out. Yeah.
Like, that was hilarious to me.
She was
Let me ask you something outrageous. So, when you're done having sex and you roll over, does your woman say, "Oh, that was fantastic"? Does she say that to you? Is that a 1978 thing and not a 2016 thing? Then they don't say shit anymore, don't they?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, they don't say shit. They don't roll. They
I
don't
think it's
tell
more
us
like
anything.
order the pizza.
Yeah, she's like, "Get me a drink."
Yeah, well, I was like, what world are you living in? You know?
In the real world where we moan and loudly and everything. Hey man, that's sex simulation. What are you gonna do? That's just the way it was done back then. Hey man, the 80s I think had it a little funnier. Personally, watch a Nightmare on Elm Street sex scene with Tina. That's pretty hilarious. The way that they do it there. But did you feel like that creeped you out though? Like the stalking scenes.
As I was watching it from the beginning, I actually liked one thing about it, that they actually show you the point of view of a stalker.
Yeah.
I like
you never
that.
see that. You
No.
never see that. So I'm thinking, okay, you know what?
And I think in its original essence too, like you're getting that.
Yeah, it had a build up to a certain point, and finally when he actually revealed himself,
Yeah.
they did it right only because he didn't speak.
No.
Had
Yeah.
he spoken, would it have been different?
Yeah.
Would you view him the same? That's what I said.
Like the way in Scream, how the killer doesn't talk and then
Exactly,
eventually he
yeah,
does
so
talk
finally
later.
He makes his reveal, but still at
The
very
point of view
end,
thing's great. I like
Yeah.
that.
They kept it justice. They did him justice. He still didn't talk, and that's. I was hoping for that. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Ruin it.
Even after he got stabbed in the eye and he took his mask
Still
off.
Kept quiet. I'm
Yeah,
like,
he
damn,
kept quiet the
this
entire
guy's
time
peace.
because he only had one agenda. He only lives and breathes one way, like the doctor was amping him up to be. And what I like is a lot of movies, they don't really follow up to like the way that one person is like saying how the character is. Like, oh no, he's horrible. He's scary. He's not to be taken lightly and all that stuff. Like he knew it was coming to the town. But let me ask you this: so you didn't think though like that one scene when he kind of like drove by when the three girls were walking?
Come on, man. That
And
was
even
was
the-
pretty
and even
funny,
the-
though.
that
You
was
think that was
funny,
funny?
man.
Like
that was
I
funny.
told you, Oscar, real quick. I thought again, like that creeps me out when you were like, if you were to yell at someone like, "Yo, what the hell? You hit me," and then he stops.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing to have. I'm not saying it was like the worst thing to have in the movie.
No,
I'm
of
saying
course not.
it was a very good thing to have in the movie because it showed his human side.
Yeah.
it did. Like, but at
But you
the
thought
same
it was funny when the car stops? That shit ain't funny, yo.
It's
God-
still alive, man. The way-
Y'all don't
the
get
way-
a little
it's just
shake,
the
you
way
know?
they did it. I
yeah,
don't know.
it was just like, come on, man. Like you know, he's supposed to be. It was just the way it was happening, man. Like you see him like jumping out of like bushes, you know, just appearing here and there, and also next thing you know, it's like, you know, you see this one scene, he's just going, literally driving, like, you know, just
driving like normal, like following people.
wearing a mask.
I just
Like,
thought the funniest
It's
scene is that part
Halloween.
when he's hopping across the thing with the little gown on. He's like a
Like-
Spider-Man.
And
jumping
which one?
The beginning part with the nurse and the doctor and they're like they're at the asylum and all of a sudden out of nowhere everything's quiet. You see this big
Oh,
ass
and you
dude
see
in a
like
van
as he
jumping
climbs up on top of the car and shit
damn
like
Spider-Man or
that.
something.
and then he takes the car.
And then he drives, which I like. They added. He was like, "How the hell was he able to drive?" Well, someone in here taught him. And so I mean,
And also,
You know,
what kind of
that's-
asylum lets people walk around in gowns outside?
they didn't let him walk around. Apparently, he let them all out as for distraction. But I always think it's funny because the nurse was like, "Since when did they let them walk around?" I'm like, "Bitch, it's nighttime. It's raining heavily. They're not supposed to be out." You know? But
Even so, how the hell is he getting out anyway? Those things have like barbed wired fences.
hey man, it's just like you said.
Guess he
15
levitated.
years, he was biding his time. That's what it was. 15 years, he had an agenda to bounce. Somewhere along the line, he found out he had a new family member 2 years after he was admitted. Maybe his parents used to visit him. I don't know, man. They were pregnant.
He's 21 in that movie, right? So
He
she's
was
only
21 when he got
17.
out.
So he should already known he had a sister.
Well,
like,
it's like I said, he was admitted, and then 2 years later, there was a newborn. So she's 2 years younger.
The remake completely
Yeah.
screws that whole series
The remake,
up.
yeah, the
they
remake
actually-
does a whole different thing, But again, this is one of the cool things I thought that the movie had that I still think fall into the horror aspect of it that I think works. That I think that is an essence that we are losing. I like the stalking stuff. I've actually always liked the stalking stuff in this movie because I think that that's the most realistic thing about this movie that is scary. You know what I mean? The car running around in the car, John, I find it creepy, unlike you finding it funny. Not the bushes stuff. That's a different story.
I would die laughing if I see someone pull that shit
Well,
on
let
me.
me ask you this. So if you were walking around with Outrageous Joe up or down the street, you cross the street, some guy just comes blaring down and you like almost make it by the skin of your teeth. And you're like, yo, man, what the hell, man? We're walking here. And the guy immediately stops in the middle of the street. That's not going to creep you out. You're going to laugh at that? You think that's funny?
Depending if this dude, okay, if he was dressed up as a clown, since we're having
Well,
like
you
a
didn't even
clown
see
problem
him.
these days.
Not even they saw. They thought it was a regular guy in there still. They didn't even see a guy in a mask or even anything.
What?
But I'm talking about the essence. You don't see the person in the car, but
It would be a
you
long.
yell out
It would be a
louder.
long. It would be a long stare down.
Oh hell yeah, it would be. But you're gonna tell me that you're not gonna be a little petrified, a little bit, just a little scared.
Unless if he like starts shooting, then yeah.
Well, of course not. But you don't know what he's gonna do in there.
You
Like,
don't know.
That person is
yeah,
stopped.
but like you don't know. But I'm not trying to act like tough or anything. I would find it weird, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
be scared.
What about you, O? That same thing happened to you. You just bum rush like cross the street because this guy's like literally like driving like hell, almost hitting you guys, and you yell out something like, "Yo, what the hell's wrong with you?" And the car stops.
I'll do like the same thing the nurse did. Remember, he's like, "Oh, I want you to check out this east wing." What did she do? She ran to
She-
her car.
So you admit the moment can get a little creepy. because I believe it can get a little creepy. You do that in the street on Halloween, no less. Things can get a little creepy. You know what I mean? What happened? What happened, Karen? What happened? Tell the story. The people want to know. Philip Rivera demands it.
It was Halloween and my little brother was like 4 or 5, and someone was dressed like Michael Myers.
Oh.
And I think he was walking around with an actual knife. And he was taunting him. I said, "You better not do that." And he still didn't care. He's like, "What? What's your problem?" So he came up to our driveway, like in the driveway, and stood there.
And he was creeped out. I would have been scared.
Down and stared at me. I was like, "Oh my god, I love this."
I would have been scared out of my ass. Like, meaning as being that little kid, I would have been crying.
Character. My brother was just frozen.
Yeah, that's excellent.
But the guy stayed in character.
That's excellent. I would have been scared out of my ass.
I think I would have bought the guy a beer. Yo, how do you do
now, let me tell you a little trivia. Oh, you got something to say, Oscar?
No.
Let me tell you a little trivia. The mask he wears, you know what that mask is? Well, he wouldn't look familiar because it was painted white.
The guy who plays,
It's William Shatner.
That's it.
Really?
That
What?
mask is William Shatner from Star Trek. That's a Star Trek mask.
I've heard that actually.
It is a Star
Not
Trek
white.
Halloween
It's
mask.
actually like kind of like a I don't know, pinkish kind of like tannish color.
Yeah, like it was
Got it.
supposed to be like one of those regular looking William Shatner masks from the
I
70s.
never guessed it.
No, not the way he paints it. But now that I told you, if you were to look up pictures and like look at the Michael Myers picture, like if I tell you to Google him the mask, you're gonna look at it and you're gonna
It's
start
so
seeing
weird
William
though
Shatner in
how
there.
those masks like change throughout the series. I feel like the first 2 are the only good ones because all the other ones looked horrible.
Oh, you know why? Because I'm pretty sure William Shatner was like, dude, you can't use my likeness.
I mean, using the 4th one, I mean, it's garbage. The 5th one was.
The mask. Yeah.
I mean, have you ever seen the?
Even part 2's mask was pretty trashy.
No,
Like,
if you
I
want to
don't
see
like
bad,
the
look.
hair.
Watch the what was that last sequel they had? With Busta Rhymes in it.
Wasn't that H2O?
I forgot. No, nice. The one. No, the one. No, the one after that. LL Cool J did H2O.
Oh yeah.
The one after that, but it looked.
I remember.
Dude looked like he's wearing
I
eyeliner.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do any of those sequels. But
When they put the rappers in it, I'm like,
yeah.
all right, they're gonna favor the celebrity that's in the movie.
Yeah.
It's gonna be corny.
yeah, pretty much. But that's what happened. Like when you make an independent film, you do things, you cut corners, you don't tell nobody nothing. But then when something becomes popular, and then all this stuff starts coming out, and I'm pretty sure that's the reason why they didn't go with the same looking mask, because William Shatner, he ain't gonna have his face on in the movie and not get paid for it. But John, I have a quick question. If I did a slasher movie, can I use your likeness as a mask?
Yeah, go ahead.
Really? You ain't gonna give me shit?
Yeah, it'd actually probably be really creepy. And
I got the
probably-
perfect picture too, though, of you that I would love to make a
make
mask out of.
make me a mask and I'll wear my own face for Halloween. Serious. Take
Now-
my mask off and it's still my face. You know.
Now, like just quick for just a little quick thing about it before we're gonna start talking about part 2 now, real quick. Part 1 for me, I think it's an excellent film. Like, not thinking about sequels, never making sequels and things like that. I think part 1 is great. I think part 1 has something really awesome in there for like people to like step in and watch horror. I think it's very hard to show someone now because of the way they do horror in that film. It's very dated.
Now. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very dated.
The music helps it out a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, no, music was good.
What do you think of Halloween as the standalone or outrageous? What do you think of it? Now, person not being a big slasher fan, like I want to hear your like honest opinion on this one. Like, are you more on the I like it, or more on the whatever?
I'm like iffy about it right now. Like I don't
Uh-huh.
know. Like it had its points where it
It had
grabbed
its
my
moments.
attention, and then when I saw like John said certain scenes like with the car and then him just picking up somebody with one hand and him
Do you
falling,
think
and, like
that's good?
Exactly.
That's actually considered like at the time because it was unknown, super scary.
Yeah.
I'm talking about 78. Do you think or that you live in a world where you just can't watch a movie like that anymore because it's dated?
I mean,
Like,
now,
does it hinder
and
it?
remember the thing that we talked about, like it being knives over guns, and
Yeah.
now the times we live in now, almost everyone is armed. So like,
Yeah.
there ain't gonna be too many
all.
Halloween guys, walking around.
Not at all. I think it does. It falls victim of being dated.
Yeah.
But I think that in terms of like if you want to learn about movies and you want to like look at your library to learn about horror films, I think this is one that has to be on your list.
But the way it was filmed and the video, everything was done perfectly. I agree. I'm not gonna lie on that.
Yeah, no, I know you're not gonna screw it up for like its effort.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Especially
Effort
for the
being
budget
awesome.
that it was running on as well.
It's a very low budget. Like I said, it's one of the first horror movie independent films of many later in the future. Especially one that people were like, "Oh, this is actually quality work. You should check this out." Because obviously horror films were still out before that, but horror films are a dime a dozen. That's one of the reasons what I always tell. I always tell people one of my favorite genres. One of my favorite genres of movies is horror films. Horror films is my favorite genre, but meant for people like if you're into horror films or you want to more like if you want to get into horror films and you need to like put movies under your belt. Halloween, I feel, should be like one of those movies that you should do. But I do think that it falls a victim of being outdated. I really do. I'm not gonna front. Sean, what do you think about that? About the Halloween being outdated. Like it's very hard to show it to
I think
people.
that's why they do kind of like how the remakes are, because it's kind of like updated what today's like generation would be like.
Yeah.
Like you see Halloween that was in the 70s, it had that creep factor and everything. Like nobody had guns at home.
Yeah, no.
Nobody was able to do certain thing. But then you watch like the remake and it has everything outdated. Like people actually can defend themselves. Like you picked everybody up one hand, and you watch the remake. The guy in the bathroom was pretty much kicking his ass in the freaking bathroom. Like
the replication of that scene.
That whole it showed that he wasn't really superhuman or supernatural because everyone was like whipping his ass half the time in the movie.
Because he tried to keep him real, or at least a realistic person. But at that time, though he was considered to be superhuman, well, at least people see him now as superhuman. Back then, he was just a regular guy that just ended up being strong.
That's what they did in the remake.
Like,
it was just
the creep factor. You're not thinking, oh my god, how was he able to pick that guy up? People are just bugging out because he was able to pick a guy up and stab him and have him hanging there, and him just staring at him like some kind of prize on a wall.
because of the size of him. I mean, he wasn't like a huge built.
But he was a strong looking dude.
Like you see Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you believe it because the guy's a huge beast.
Yeah.
Guy. He's like 6 feet tall.
Yeah, exactly. But so whenever he picked him up, it wasn't a big deal, and he was supposed to be a regular looking dude, a regular person too. I mean,
so at the time it's good, but now at the time I feel like if you break in someone's house, there's gonna be some guy with a 12 gauge waiting.
Like back another scene for Halloween, the scene where Laurie's on the floor and Michael Myers does that Undertaker revive little thing where he just kind of sits up. I heard stories about how that was like super creepy to a lot of people. Like they screamed the second that he rose up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where nowadays we don't get that. We just more like, oh, like that. But where back then people were like literally legitly scared of that. Because one of the things that Halloween, like I said, that has over a lot of very common horror movies is that realistic factor, babysitting. There could be someone like in the bushes somewhere waiting to kill people because that's real life. I mean, even Laurie, when she got stabbed and kind of like hurt from that house and she came running in the house yelling, "Help me," she goes next door and the next door neighbors turn on the light, they look out the window and then they turn off the lights because they don't want anything to do with that. That's real. That actually can happen. A lot of people get so fucking scared that they don't help.
They don't believe it though. It could be a prank.
And then you got that too because it's Halloween. There's just another fucking
Or
prank.
it's a drunk chick from a freaking bar just like wobbling around or something.
Yeah. And just
never
like
know.
carrying it over into part 2 where the guy got shot over and then you got that next door neighbor that comes out like, "Oh, what's going on?" And he was like, I've been scared on Halloween too many times tonight. Like, so he hasn't been paying attention. And your boy, the psychiatrist, says that you don't know what is it? You don't know what fear is?
You don't know
that
what death is.
You don't know what death is. And then he walks around, you know what I mean? But for Halloween 2, like, I remember that beginning being so awesome. What did you think of Outrageous of Halloween 2, the beginning part?
Oh, I was like, oh, nice. I get to see what happens next.
Yeah, like it's a
literally,
nice pickup of that.
After he fell, he got shot by the by the guy, and then went to see he's not there. So
yeah.
like, all right, now what happened next? Then it was good. It was a good intro, but then as the movie
It falls
went on,
apart a
yeah,
little
it falls
bit.
apart.
I wanted to ask everybody here, son, for the death scenes, what do you guys think of all the death scenes from the first two
That's
movies?
actually, again, like what I'm saying. Like, I felt that though you said that John, not so good looking John, he said that Part 2 picks up because people are getting randomly killed. That was now again am not a big fan of that.
You didn't like the random kill? Like, for
No.
example, that one scene, you know, your favorite scene.
In
with
the tub?
No, not the tub one. The where the
That one had me dying.
the
Yeah.
one the one with the kid gets randomly ran over by the cop car.
Yo, I feel so bad for that kid.
Like, come on, like,
Okay, that was hilarious.
But that was more of an accident. Nobody really killed him.
like that kid. You could tell that kid was trying his hardest to avoid problems. And
Yeah.
you had that lunatic guy like stop, you know. And then all of a sudden he gets ran over by a car, and the cop's like, oh man, I just couldn't stop. Like the way they played it off, it's like that shit would not pass today.
Yeah, well, at least the way they did it. But I think that it will
That
pass.
shit-
That
That's a
accidental
lawsuit
accident.
right there.
I think that if you were to
Not even-
modernize that scene, I think that would be a fucked up scene.
But you
bro.
know what? It wasn't even a single scream out of that body. When
No,
it got
not at
hit,
all.
Not at all. Nothing. Even after it got
Yeah.
hit by the car, then it went on fire.
This is
Nothing.
where it's kind of stupid. They didn't do a screen to make you think that it was Michael Myers, but then if you're smart, you just realize you've been watching for only 20 minutes.
Correct.
So obviously it's not him. It's that logic. I remember just liking the scene itself, you know, because it is a little bit ridiculous how they do it. But like if they modernize that scene, I just think it would be pretty.
Yo,
I think it would be gold.
There'd
Like
be so
the
many
scene itself,
lawsuits
like
and shit.
they're still looking for him, and then somebody is literally walking around with the exact same mask. The guy's chasing him. He's running away, and that accident happens.
He was trying to be William Shatner for Halloween.
Yes, he was trying to be William Shatner for Halloween, and he ended up getting killed for it. But if the movie was a little bit more story driven, part 2, I think it would have been better.
How is part 2 not story driven? It was just
Not-
picking up from where the first one left
and
off.
that's where this is to me.
I actually like the second one, like I mentioned
Yeah,
before.
I do. I like it too. I own it. I wouldn't own anything
Well,
I don't
I like it better than the first, at least.
Really?
For me, anyway.
I beg to
Yeah.
differ. I like the first.
Well,
I mean, I'm
one
just
better
saying
than
that's
the
just my opinion.
Is,
Like,
is it because of the deaths? The
It-
fact that you're getting deaths?
it is.
Yeah.
And he's not popping randomly at. Actually, no, that's a lie.
He's
dead.
popping randomly almost everywhere.
Yeah.
That's what makes it good though. It makes it more spooky when he's popping out.
Okay, for
but
example,
see-
here's a perfect
Watching
example
him
of
on the hospital. I'm like, all right, this guy's chasing. you
here's
around,
a
but-
perfect example of where I would call bullshit. That hospital scene, definitely, where he's in the baby room and like you mean tell me you're not gonna
And then the girl's like looking in the window.
Two.
You're gonna see a big ass motherfucker on the corner of that wall.
a big dude just standing in the middle of the baby room. And it's like they're not even acknowledging the fact. It's like oh that could be somebody. Oh, just leave him. You know, like
All right, there to entertain children.
come on.
All I'm
Like,
saying is that if John Carpenter was really believing in the second story, that there was a better story in there somewhere. As amazing as I think that the first film is in terms of like the silence and the stalking and the staring. Now, I'm not saying that there shouldn't have been more deaths. I totally think that they should have, but I think that the deaths should have. You know what would have been great victims in that if the psychiatrist Loomis was actually walking around and actually seeing him in the streets, and the victims were teenage kids getting murdered in their Halloween costumes as he's trying to get away. That makes it where instead it was just like random people getting naked in the hospital, getting hacked up. That's what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
No, it does. That's why I feel
You
like
know, and I think that would have been much better. Like, why shouldn't we get Loomis to be literally on his tail? And then you got Michael Myers trying to figure out where Laurie is at the same
Out of
time.
all the hospitals in the world, this could have been like multiple. It's Illinois. Come on.
Yeah.
That's a big ass place. They're definitely gonna have like hospitals everywhere. So how does he know exactly what hospital it is? And he walks in. I'm like, what hospital doesn't have like a person right at the front desk going, "Can I help
not
you?"
even one security guard.
It's
Like,
the
what-
middle of the
what-
night, for God's sakes. Let him be.
All right, I've been to Good
Surgery
Sam. That
at
shit
12
has.
o'clock at night?
Yeah.
Good Sam is a small hospital, kind of like
that's-
mid.
But that's
come
what I
on.
was saying to you, John, earlier. I was like, I'm sure that in like middle America somewhere in some small town, that's a hospital.
yeah, but that's why.
But they have more than one.
I agree with them.
Yeah.
I agree with them though, because it's like, you know, you got this one dude, this one random dude. He's
It was one security guard, a couple of nurses, and the two
but-
EMTs.
You mean that one out of shape? No offense to the
It's
people.
always gonna be
but
an out of shape security guard in
an
all
out of shape
movie.
security guard holding down a hospital.
What do you want, Lou Ferrigno holding it down?
Hell yeah! If I
You
was
want the Hulk holding it down?
if I was the one hiring them, yo, all my freaking security guards brawlic as hell. Every single one.
Not only that,
all
more than
fairness,
one.
This is actually where Halloween was doing it right. What did that cop say in part 2? The blonde guy, the one that took over for the father that found his daughter dead. He says, "Yo, Haddonfield was, other than what happened 15 years ago, Haddonfield was the only time you heard a gunshot was to start the races in the high school. You know, like when you hear the gunshot when the kids will run." Mm-hmm. He said that was it. That's the only time you heard a gunshot. They're trying to tell you that Haddonfield was an amazing place to community to live in. Other than the fact that they had that one ugly moment 15 years ago and shit like that. And now they're literally having a, quote-unquote, a night of terror. Where they have... And that's what I wanted Halloween to be.
It wasn't that.
No, I'm talking about like if they didn't do that fucking supernatural shit where it's just a dude literally wreaking havoc in the most safest town in USA... You know what I'm saying? Killing people at random, and one of them actually not be random.
That's what I mean, because that explained to me. I wonder why he's always walking. He never runs. You never catch him running. So I'm like, when as I was watching the second one, I'm like, oh, now it makes sense.
Well, he's hiding in plain sight. It's Halloween.
That
It's
level
not.
of excitement is gone.
Actually,
I don't see it.
yeah.
Like, if you're walking, you can't die. Then okay, it gets boring.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
actually, you know what? I think it would be a lot scarier if he charged at like people. You know
But
what
you know
I'm
what?
saying?
At the time, in talking about 78 and 1980, your bad guy didn't run. He didn't. You know who broke that battery? Believe it or not, Zack Snyder did with Dawn of the Dead. That was when our bad guy ran. That was when the first baddies ran. The zombies. All zombies just wallowed, down in groups. And then he made the remake to Dawn of the Dead, and then everybody was running, and that brought in this new fear of monsters being able to run. And that's why I heard in the Friday the 13th remakes, Jason runs. Jason runs. I've never seen the remakes, but like I was like, wow, the idea of Jason running, that's pretty creepy.
It's like the double stalking thing too. Like if you see it, Michael Myers is pretty much stalking his sister, but he's also being hunted by like Loomis. So in any way, he's not like the good guy. He's kind of like.
But you see, and that's what I want.
Like a
I want to
stalk
see. That's what I wanted part 2 to be. I wanted to see the hunter as we saw him in part 1. I wanted to see the hunter being hunted. In part 2, like I wanted to see Loomis literally on his ass. I wanted, him killing, kids dressed up in Halloween costumes. Him killing them or putting him in harm's way while he's trying to get away to get to the hospital.
He becomes more sinister, and if you notice throughout the movies, he gets more and more sinister.
Yeah. But they went with the supernatural part, the Samhain thing, and I was like, whatever. You know what I mean? It didn't make the movie horrible. But I was like, damn, this movie had... And I'm speaking from when I first saw Halloween 2. You know what I mean? I up until the part where the kid gets killed, I was super hooked. I was like, oh, man, this is getting intense. This kid got accidentally killed. Michael Myers is still out. This night is becoming horrible. The sheriff had just found out his daughter died. I was like, yeah, give me more. And then when they get to school, the whole Samhain shit, I'm just like...
Yeah, I feel like he could have sold it better. The psychiatrist, I mean, I was just saying, the film had a lot of potential in the first, and then when the second one started, I'm like, oh man.
But that's what happens with horror movies. Yeah. They just immortalize them, but sometimes immortalizing your character is not the best of ideas. Exactly. But at the time, when you create something that's the beginning of a phenomenon, and a studio sees that, they're gonna try to milk it, and that's what happened. I mean, it happens even now to this day. You know what I mean? Where you got one great idea of a horror film, and then, people see a potential for it to be something else or something just as amazing. And then you realize that you're literally milking it dry.
That's what I said, because personally, I was hoping it was just a regular human being going crazy, killing
You thought
people.
the exact same thing. That's why I didn't want to say anything.
Exactly. So I was like, that's all I wanted. But then when I start to see he's doing all this magic shit, I'm like, oh, man.
Can you honestly say that when you were watching part 2, like, from the beginning up to whatever part that you decided that, you lost me, were you like semi-hooked?
Yeah, no.
I remember being semi-hooked the second that he came outside, the Loomis, the psychiatrist, when he came outside and he says, you don't know what death is, the movie starts, and he's like running to see where he went. Exactly. I was like, you got me, bro.
Yeah,
I
was a good build-up. It was a good build-up.
Yeah, that was, the whole thing was good.
Yeah, the Loomis now is just walking the streets instead of being like, now he's an actual character in the sequel. You know what I mean? As he was, because he wasn't in as much in part one. He wasn't really there. Yeah. It was more like Lori and what she's doing and what her friends are doing.
His character builds up though. If you notice, like in the first one he's just a regular.
Trying to he's that guy that's like the. advisor.
Watch
That's
the
word.
series though, like throughout the sequels, he becomes more like darker with it. Like he's obsessed with it. And you see him
That's
like
another, Loomis actually survives that explosion.
he's not even sweet.
and that's where it's weird. How do you survive that?
Now that I know that, I don't even want to watch it anymore.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He survived
But-
that explosion. It's like whatever. Okay,
Like-
yeah, he's like a burned face and shit. I remember that.
You see him though, like he's obsessed with it. Like that part in the fifth one when he's like hitting him with the pipe. He has Michael
Yeah.
caught in the chains, and he's like crazy with it. Like
Yeah.
It's freaking
You know
retarded.
what's funny? Though? When I was watching the first one, what ran through my mind was Son of Sam.
Summer of Sam.
Summer of Sam.
That's
yeah.
what. But see, that's where it
And
is.
what
Where
I
it's
loved
like
about
that
it was
quiet.
It was real. It was
that
real. He was
quiet
crazy.
murderer,
He
the
killed
quiet
people
murderer.
randomly. Yeah.
Did you ever see Summer Sam?
Yes, I did. It was.
Remember
great.
that one scene? It actually falls right into Halloween. There's a scene where he's across the street. There's a lady walking her dog across the street.
Mm-hmm.
He walks over to like where she was at. She stops and stares at him. He looks scary as fuck to her. She picks up her dog because she had a little dog. She picks it up and she runs.
She runs. Yeah, exactly.
Like screaming. And,
that's
I
what-
was just like,
and
technically,
look,
that's
and-
what that is.
And that's how I felt when I was watching. I'm like, you know what? Look, he did it without a mask.
Yeah.
You know, he just looks like some crazy guy.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like, I feel like some films they need to just stop making it so like,
Mhm.
you know, like demonic. You just human itself is evil. It's
Here's a
scary
question.
enough.
Yeah, here's a question I wanted to ask, even from Fright Night, guys, and I would love to hear your answer to it. Do you guys feel that you need to see people get murdered every 5 seconds?
Absolutely not. And
No.
that's my
'Cause
whole point.
From Fright Night Part 2, Halloween, and Halloween 2. Well, Halloween 2 you get quite a bit, but these movies, they, you know, especially Fright Night, and then you got this one, they don't kill anybody. Like I was just saying, they're not murdering people left and right. You're not finding dead bodies everywhere. In Halloween, you see one dead body, and that's what tells us where he got the clothing, the one piece. He got the mechanic outfit. You know what I mean? But that's normal. You don't see the scene, is what I'm saying. You don't see the scene of Michael Myers in his fucking like in his scrubs or whatever, that white gown that he was wearing, and
It
he's
would be
murdering this guy
intimidating
to
if you
take his
saw
clothes.
that.
Huh?
I would be like, all right, this dude's off his meds. If some guy was chasing him
Yeah,
in a freaking
like
gown.
you know, like the fact that he sees the truck, and he's assuming like, oh my god, Michael was here, and then as he walks away, you see like in the bushes a dead man, naked. You know what I mean? And you're like, and that was enough. That's enough for you to like, no, like, do you think that we can make it, that a horror movie can make it in this time being that way? Because I can tell you a movie that doesn't have that. Sinister. People ain't dying left and right. They're showing you on film people dying. I thought that was a great movie.
Actually, that was a great movie.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Sinister-
But
Sinister, yeah.
a lot of people don't like it, or they didn't watch it because it's not.
Sinister, the one with Ethan
That's
Hawke.
what
Yeah,
Hawke.
that
And
he's
watches
watching
the
those
film.
videos.
I don't think he gets enough credit. Not to change
Ethan
the
Hawke?
subject.
He's done a lot
I
of
think
good
he's
stuff
amazing.
I think he's amazing too, but
And I
like
think
a
that the
lot of people,
topics of horror movies that he has been put in are pretty interesting.
a lot of people that I talk to about that, they don't like him. They just don't like
Don't
Ethan
like
Hawke.
him? You're crazy.
Anyone?
no,
like,
I
Horror-
like-
no,
I-
not you. I'm just saying that people are telling you that.
Yeah,
then
I'm
they don't
shocked.
know Ethan Hawke like I do, because Ethan
I'm
Hawke is
shocked.
an amazing actor.
I think so too.
Horror or not.
I mean, they want to talk about a terrible actor. Look at Kanaya Reeves. That guy, nothing against him.
Keanu Reeves.
Whatever. That's how bad he is. I don't even care about his
No,
name.
no, yeah. Have you seen John?
John
Oh,
Wick.
come on. Have you seen some of his movies he's seen?
Yeah,
Like, he's
Hardball's-
over dramatic.
Hardball's another one that I thought he was pretty good in that too.
That wasn't a horror film.
What movie?
It was a bunch of movie about him like coaching a bunch of little
horror,
kids.
Has he done a horror movie?
Keanu? No, he's.
Have you
never
seen
been
that
in
Knock Knock
the,
thriller?
The only
Related.
thing that that he
is?
was in that's
Come on.
considered the
Constantine.
most horror movie. No, The Devil's Advocate,
That's
where he's a lawyer that
What about in
speaks.
Constantine?
That's not Marvel.
Constantine,
I mean,
he's a hero. That's a DC comic book. He's
Oh.
he's fighting.
I almost
demons.
said Marvel. No,
my
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's a DC thing. He's
DC.
fighting demons, so it's not.
I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
That's
You
it.
see Knock Knock,
But
right?
I guess another one.
No.
That's the closest
Watch
thing to a
it.
horror that he'll ever.
In
that
Knock
he's
Knock,
ever
he's tired and he's like, "Please, you're gonna do this to me? Me?" I'm like,
The fact that he tries to do some.
Bad News Bear.
Anyway,
he
back
in
back
that?
to
No,
back to-
unless that football game.
Yeah, yeah.
movie,
No, the
whatever.
baseball. You know where he.
Ethan
Yeah,
Hawke
yeah,
is
Bad News
great.
Bears.
I think that's. I don't know if that's the one, but.
I didn't mean to stray off topic
That's
here.
totally
My bad.
fine.
But
no,
I'm
Ethan
just
Hawke,
saying-
I think, is an amazing actor, a horror film or not.
Sinister 2 is really good. I actually
Was it?
prefer
I
that.
still have to see the sequel.
I like the first one, but I just love the way they
I
did
saw
the
part
second.
one in a pre-screening, and I fell in love with it, and I couldn't speak to any of the people that
Actually,
saw
that
it
film
with me
actually
because they
made
didn't
me
like
scared.
it.
I actually got scared watching that. After
There
after
are
watching
its
it.
moments. It has its moments.
Yeah.
The Ghoul has
It was
its
one of
moments
those movies.
where his movie can get the movie got a little scary at times when I saw it in theaters. I saw it in theaters, and I remember not being blown away, but I was like, "Holy shit, man! Finally, a horror movie I can actually."
I see him
watch.
doing more. Like if he's doing that, and they put him in The Purge, they're definitely gonna be putting him in a lot more thrillers. And
yeah,
he's
I
great.
mean, now he's a cowboy in Magnificent Seven, but don't sleep on Ethan Hawke, man. I can recommend a lot of movies that he knocks it out the park. In terms of acting, he's the reason why The Purge exists. Have sequels because
Thank you.
You know, what
Thank
I mean?
you.
He did good on that.
I think that was the only reason why I saw The Purge, and I thought it was a good movie, but.
Yeah,
if it wasn't for
first
him, I
one.
would have never
First
seen it.
one.
The first one was good. The rest are trash.
Are they? Yeah, I never
Ethan
saw a
Hawke
sequel.
was in the first Purge.
You know?
That's right.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of like.
he's in the first Purge, all clean shaved and everything.
That's right. He's the dad that gets
he's
stabbed.
the dad
right?
in the
Okay.
film. Yeah.
Oh, and that's another perfect example
Mm.
of a movie that doesn't need that much slashing.
Because Sinister didn't have people dying left and right. And all.
Same
It was
thing
just
with-
in the video, so it's not the same thing.
Yeah, same thing with The Purge.
The Purge, yeah, I know. There wasn't in the first film. There wasn't people getting offed.
Well, that's what I
every
like
5
about it. It was
seconds.
completely
Except for
different.
the sequels, I know that they got to show you more, and that's a given. So I'm not gonna hinder it too much.
But
Part 2 is you got to give more. You know what I mean?
But back to Halloween though,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like it needed to have that. They needed
You
to
think
have...
the first film needed to have that?
No, not the first film.
But the second film, yes, I agree.
Yeah.
But that's where I told you, I'm giving you that because it's true. I just wish it wasn't so random. Like people just randomly getting killed for no reason. Like the people that were killed in the hospital, who cares? I didn't care about none of them.
Yeah, me neither.
That's what I'm trying to
I
say.
feel like the deaths have to have some kind of meaning.
Like to me, the meaning of him killing a teenager dressed in a Halloween costume has more meaning. Because there are people. It's Halloween, man.
Well,
Kids are running
well,
around,
here's the reason why.
Then you're getting young kids getting murdered left and right while he's trying to run away from Loomis.
Now here's the thing, though. I was thinking about this while watching the second one. Do you think that because it's Michael Myers? Like I understand that people would say that his killings need to have meaning, but what happens?
No, they don't have to. I'm just saying it's better for me.
But look from his perspective though. This guy feels that everybody's gonna get killed by him.
Yeah.
Because, in my opinion, I think he just feels like these people are getting in the way for me to get my revenge.
I got you.
Like even though he's going into random spots like up on top of the freaking hospital.
Yeah.
Where should be nobody there, and then you got the fat security guard like, oh, I'm gonna go up there too, just to see, because I don't know why the power's off, and all of a sudden, the
which
telephone's
he didn't
out.
check for the power either, which is funny.
Yeah, so there were just a lot of random parts in there, but my whole thing is like, I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't believe in Michael Myers if he didn't go on a random killing spree, meaning like, okay, I'm in the hospital. All you sons of bitches are gonna get killed.
There could have been way more
everybody
people
in the hospital.
Yeah, and
They had a
there was
lot
like
more,
what, like 5 people in the hospital.
Yeah, I mean, if they had at least 15, I would have been fine. But
Yeah.
and first off, they should have at least maybe I would say 3 security. I'll be nice and say for like a 70s, 80s slasher, like at least 3 big security guards. Not some fat, maybe 1 fat guy and 2 buff dudes.
Yeah, I mean, hey, man, that's just like I said. It falls in victim of being a late 70s, early 80s horror film. And like I said, if your security guard ain't fat and incapable, there's no reason why we need to have him as a security guard.
If I was doing that movie, the way I would have made kind of the ending is like the movie I would have made maybe like a revenge kind of thing, like the cop.
What,
who
the
lost,
second? The second?
Yeah, the second one. The cop who lost his daughter. You see like him broken down in that part, but you see
That would have been cool if he
coming
stayed in the
back.
story.
He's gonna kill this dude. Like
Yeah, I would have loved him to be a part of that. To
They
be a
gave him
part
no
of the story
meaning.
where he tells his wife what happened to the kid.
You see him going to the police station,
and,
loading up.
Yeah, like him eventually come somewhere at the end of the movie where he finally starts to believe and saying I need to keep helping him because now he killed my daughter. The movie had a lot of potential, but for bringing in a lot of cool ideas, but I think it falls short on them because I think they let themselves become a victim of just being a random regular horror movie. Let me tell you something really cool trivia, because there weren't that many movies back then. This was actually the very first hugely successful horror movie sequel at its time. There was no other movie that made a more successful sequel other than Halloween 2.
Damn.
For a long time. It was the highest grossing Halloween horror film sequel. And I was like, it deserves it, because if you've seen a lot of part 2s that came out of that time, I would have bet my money on that.
There was Texas Chainsaw Massacre too. That was actually a really
Yeah,
big
Texas
one too.
Chainsaw Massacre 2 was it didn't make money like that. The sequel,
I thought it was really
but
well.
but the first one did have a following. There were enough people that said, "Hey, I need to see that sequel whenever they make one." But but Halloween 2 was considered the highest grossing horror film of all time at that time until
It's underrated.
Other films.
Kind of like
it's underrated.
Kind of like Halloween 3. I mean, it has a big popular thing, but not a lot of people give
huge
it.
cult following.
Yeah, not a lot of people like give it because it's the same
I have
dude.
a friend that Halloween 3 is actually his favorite Halloween, not all of them. Believe it or not. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. Because Halloween 3 is like Tales from the Crypt a little bit.
Well, you kind of have like a well-known person like Creepshow's Tom Atkins.
Yeah.
He was doing everything around that time.
Yep. So it's like a lot of random stories in part 3 that, and you're like, and people were like, where's Michael Myers? There's no Michael Myers in it. None at all. Part
A
3
cameo.
Like
the trailer.
Part 3 has nothing to do with, in the trailer. It wasn't even like, they brought you in and
And the
you're
music.
like, where is he?
They see the kind of the music though. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's Laurie's theme, the one that kept playing whenever she was walking by.
Yeah.
So it was kind of good. At least they showed some love to it.
Yeah, they did. But Halloween 1 and 2. What do you guys think?
Second one was still better.
Let me ask you
First one was
something.
better.
Take away all the killings. What makes part 2 better?
The fact it continued, it was
The
okay.
continuation is the strongest point.
Yeah, like it wasn't like this takes place 5 years later. Like it was literally like, okay, you know what? Like I'm not saying the first one was terrible. I just couldn't connect with it as much as I got with the second one.
I got you.
But
It's amazing that you don't like part 1, meaning
the ending
that it didn't. That part 1 doesn't mean what most people.
The ending is what solidified it for me because it was really the ending just left. It was such a cliffhanger. Like that was it, the way it was ended. I was like, okay, that's good. Now the second one it was literally like
those first
right
20
after.
minutes, I think, justify part 1. It makes part 1 such a much stronger film to watch. But let me ask you this: Fright Night 2 or Halloween 2? They're both the same kind of movies. They're kind of direct sequels. Only part 2, Fright Night, takes place 3 years later. But it's just as strong as a sequel in terms of continuation between the two.
For me, I'd pick Fright Night 2.
Yeah. Because, you know why? Because through and through, it doesn't make me as pissed off.
Exactly. And they don't throw that random shit. Like, you don't see the curveball.
It
sticks to its original story.
Exactly.
Even
like,
though it's different characters.
What they're doing, what this girl is doing, she's doing it for a reason, and you find out at the end of the movie why the reason for it. She's there to torture. She's there to turn Charlie Brewster into a vampire and make him and torture him for the rest of his vampire life, forever, for eternity. What I know John wishes would happen to him, right? Yeah.
No.
Halloween 2 or Fright Night Part 2?
Fright Night Part 2.
Oh, okay. Damn, man. What happened? I thought you was riding the Halloween horse, bro.
No, I'm saying no. Halloween 2 is better than the first one, but Fright Night 2 takes the cake.
Yeah, all right. It takes a cake, huh? Big cake?
No, just I would say about maybe 2 slices and that's about it.
2 slices of a cake.
Yeah.
Sean, you say you have seen it, right?
Fright Night Part 2, I haven't seen it in a while. I always loved the first one, just purely Evil Ed. Come on. But it's hard to pick because I love Halloween, but I love Fright Night Part 2 for certain reasons. Like, it's a couple years later, and you see Peter Vincent and Charlie like.
They're there, and that feels good.
But what I love Halloween 2 more is because now you see more in depth what's going on. Like Laurie's like, oh shit, Michael Myers is my brother. Holy shit, this dude's coming after me. And it's better. I mean, Fright Night, it's like, you find out why. Yeah, I've been there fighting vampires. Same thing. Yeah. It's the same thing. But Michael Myers, at least, you've seen the logos and people are watching like, I wonder what this witch stuff is. I wonder what this time. That's what makes it interesting because it makes
for the ones that it intrigued. I unfortunately was not one of those people that was all about the Samhain thing. Like, I know some people were. You know what I mean? Some people really love that Samhain part about the story.
And the Loomis thing, I wanted to find out more about what's going on with him. That's why I like the second one, because it leads to what's going on. But Friday Night 2 is amazing. It's an amazing sequel just because of the factor of how the storyline behind it against Charlie. Like, this is pretty much, now it's, Charlie's pretty much like shit out of luck unless like, you could stop all these people. And like in the first one, he had the upper advantage. He had everyone on his side. But now it's like, almost like the tables got turned on him. So it's hard to pick. I just like Halloween more because of the story that the second one gives you compared to the first one.
Like I said, halfway through the movie, you had me. But I'm talking about when I first saw it. Halfway through the movie, you got me. I was paying attention. I was all about it. And then somewhere along the halfway point, I kind of get lost in it. But I still think it's a good sequel. I think it holds up. I think it's one of those movies like Fright Night where I think that in terms of, I don't know if you want to have a marathon about Halloween, but I recommend part 1 and part 2 having that 1-2 marathon kind of thing. What do you think, Johnny Boy?
No, man. No, stop at 2. Stop at 2.
That's what I'm saying. Like that, I think that I would definitely recommend Halloween 2
man, because
to be the double feature.
No, from what you were just telling us, no.
There are things that happen, but it's
I don't want to see
it's
it.
in terms of like your opinion. If you want to keep it moving, if
Sorry,
you want to
Sean.
keep going.
All right, you want to talk about sequels? Have you seen the Lost Boys sequels? Come on.
I don't want to see the Lost
Come on.
Boys.
You got to. I mean, I wouldn't like really shit
Lost
on Halloween.
Boys from the very First of all, Lost Boys getting a sequel, that's a bad idea.
Bad idea, but like, come on, you have Corey Film.
Didn't they get 3 movies? I mean, 2 movies.
It was 3 movies
sequels?
altogether. It was the Lost,
there's
the
a
original
trilogy.
cult classic,
Yeah.
and then those dreaded sequels. So
Yeah.
I'm saying Halloween. I'm not gonna defend it all the way, but the sequels were a lot better than like.
Okay, look at it like this. It's like at some point you could compare the Halloween sequels to Saw. Yes or no? Like as far as like
On the way, there's a
the series dying down.
All right, series dying down. I will defend Saw on that because it's not really sequels.
I defend Saw actually a little bit more than Halloween
because it's not sequels. They're all like foreshadowing.
Well, they take place after each other. You know what I mean? Like Halloween, where it just takes place not the same night, not all of it. But the one thing I will always give super high credit for Saw was that they didn't fall victim to being a comedy.
And the endings were like always left you like it's almost like watching a show on TV.
They were
You're
serious to their best of their abilities with every
sequel.
sequel.
Watching Saw.
Did you?
Too. Only because I feel like it was the same thing. Like, oh, you want to play a game?
This is why.
I feel like that.
Yeah.
I feel like now they're gonna show a movie when he was a kid now.
They do.
You know, like,
they go pretty much all over the place. But like I said, one of the things that Saw did have going for itself was just like I said, they are serious all the time. It's not like where Halloween or Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th, where they kind of fell into the comedic hole when they were just showing funny shit and horror shit.
I couldn't take it serious. Yeah.
That's why I
Saw
like that.
actually kept itself serious to the best of their ability.
And it wasn't like a sequel.
There
Like,
were no funny scenes. I can't tell you. I can't actually pick one. I'm talking about even if you were to watch the sequels right now and watch all Saws, all 7, you're not gonna find a comedic part in your bone. If you laugh, that's one thing, but they weren't trying to be funny.
they didn't get everything
That's
going
what
together.
I'm
They always foreshadow something. So you're like, oh,
Yeah.
crap. So that's how he got out of that one, or
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
what led.
They
So maybe Saw was a bad example.
It was like a bit. It's
No,
almost like a
but
huge TV series.
There were still sequels that shouldn't have been made.
What about Jason?
I never saw Jason. I can't say anything.
What do you mean, Jason? Jason
Like the
X?
series.
The Friday the 13th series. Yeah, I recently had a marathon just because I don't remember how they continue.
It was on
Talk
AMC.
about-
You watched the marathon AMC,
No,
didn't
no,
you?
I own it. No, I can't watch that shit on AMC, man. They clean it up so much that you just feel like...
The Friday the 13th
Well,
series.
Friday the 13th series,
Part
I
2.
marathoned it, and it goes all over the place, bro. It's talking about continuities, problems. It's got a lot
After
of shit.
part
I don't
6.
recommend anything.
Okay, but that's my point though. There are certain things about horror that if it should not get a sequel. Lost
Yeah.
Boys, I felt should not have
But
gotten
you know why
a
they
sequel.
did that? No, they shouldn't have. But you know why? Because of you, John, being such a huge fan of Lost Boys. They're pleasing you, the audience.
I'm not.
That's why they made those sequels. Not because they had a good idea making one, but because they say, hey,
You say this
people
every time.
love it so
you
much.
say this every time, and I understand you.
I mean, if
but
you
at
could
the
do a
same-
sequel, I mean, at least I would have done is like a foreshadow like 20 years later. Like
Yeah.
you see the family there and everything. I'm not trying to like corny it up, but like they move back like
Yeah.
they're back there. Like maybe like the mother passed away and they want to bury her next to the grandfather. Then you
Got
see
you.
all this shit happening
But
again. Like all
This
you
is
know,
my
at least
this is my issue with it. I don't believe that you should make a sequel almost 20 years later after
Feldman
making
just needs to stop trying to be relevant. I mean, I love
Yeah.
the dude, but I'm like, it's like this guy now
have
he's
you
going to
s-
music.
Outrageous. So, have you seen Lost Boys?
I love the
No.
Lost Boys. You never seen
Ah,
Lost Boys?
shit.
Man, yo. You know what's crazy? Like, out of all the home movies, I could have sworn that you watched these movies, before.
No.
I'm sitting in a room with someone that has never seen Halloween, has never seen A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, and I was
That's
born in
pretty-
'86, just
that's
to let the
pretty
audience
crazy.
out there know. In
I
86,
I
was-
think I can I propose something?
Yes.
We need to do a month where he hasn't seen any. Have you seen Friday the 13th?
No.
Yeah, Friday. Wow, man, that's
He hasn't
crazy.
seen Friday the 13th. He hasn't seen Lost Boys. There are certain movies that I think he needs to see.
It doesn't need to be in horror movie month. This is like a doctor. You need to watch these movies.
So
stacked.
I think we should dedicate a month where we introduce
pop horror films to
not even pop horror
These
films.
are pop horror films. These are the movies. Look, let me just get.
But
this
he's also seen movies that like, he probably like that everybody's seen that he hasn't seen.
Yeah, because
we need to dedicate a month to catch him up.
Yeah, because this is the thing. I never would. These movies do not fall into the category of what I show. The only reason why I showed Halloween was because I had a fan, Philip Rivera. Thank you. I would have never shown Halloween. I never would have asked if you guys have seen Halloween. I assumed that you guys already did. That's like saying you never seen Rocky. To me, in terms of horror movies, you know what I mean? And if it wasn't for a request, we're not gonna be watching pop horror films. You know what I mean? I may in the future start showing pop films if I run out of all these non-pop films to show.
Like Suspiria, that talking about the 70s.
Yeah, like
wanted to
Suspiria.
watch that,
Yeah, no.
Suspiria
I'm looking into getting it.
Because that's a really good one. It's very...
It's an Argento film.
It's not
man.
like
It's great.
automatically pop up. It's like something like your watches and like you're stuck. It's not like you can look away. You're literally.
Yeah,
like,
you're stuck watching because Dario Argento was a fucking genius.
It's
That's
a mind.
why.
That movie's a mind fuck though.
Yeah, and but knowing what I know now, like I'm definitely gonna put these movies in the pipeline that you need to see. Maybe in December, maybe January. Because one of the things I'm very happy about, these movies are filling up, meaning like in terms of putting in for a week. And that makes me very happy. That means that you guys out there, you're listening. I'm very happy about that.
Just keep picking the movies and we'll watch
Yeah,
them.
man, that's that's the part that makes me so happy that you guys are willing to watch. You guys want to watch. You know what I mean? I'm getting these great opinions from you guys. I'm sure that there are people out there that are super agreeing with what you guys are saying. And that's what makes it ear candy for all these guys and gals out there. And hope nobody gets any nightmares tonight. Don't worry, outrageous. I'll look out the window before I leave to make sure there's nobody standing in your backyard behind a bush. And John should be able to man up, since he finds it so fucking funny to walk up to the bush and then see if Michael Myers is there now. You're man enough, right? If you find it so fucking funny.
First of all, fucking Michael Myers is like fucking bigger than the fucking bush itself. So yeah, good luck trying to freaking hide behind a small ass
he likes
bush.
to like, bend down and show up.
You are man enough to walk up to that bush, right? To make sure that he's not there, right? Are you man enough, John? To walk up to that bush, because you find this so fucking hilarious.
I'm gonna be honest with you, no. But at the same time, I'll laugh at a distance. I'm being serious. I'll laugh at a distance, but I'll back away while laughing. And then I'll hide in a different bush, and we're gonna play hide and seek from there. And if I die, I die.
Oh.
Not to sound like a man or anything, but I'm gonna be screaming while he's chasing after me.
You sounded like Ivan Drago. If I die, I die.
That's one thing I love about the Jason movies, like Part 3 with the. Like, it wasn't like Michael Myers, some guy just walks around, strangles you, or stabs you. At least the dude be hitting you with a crossbow or whatever it was, and like you'd be sitting there like, yo, what's up? Next thing you know, you have an arrow right through your eye.
Friday the 13th is a funny series. Just put it like that. Like how they went from movie to movie, and when actually Jason's actually
Part
started
7,
killing,
8,
it's
and
weird.
9, and 10 were just trash. Now Part 6 and below that was actually pretty good.
The one I religiously watched was 7. The
4.
The psychiatric chick.
4 was actually really good.
I mean, the psychic chick.
You actually see Corey Feldman
That's
before
that
he
was
was a
actually
lost
the
boy.
first Friday the 13th I've ever seen. Was
Corey
that
Feldman
one.
finds
And then I
himself in
went
these
back.
horror films. I just don't understand how he like sneaks up.
That's where he started, man. But I think we have another show, Philip Rivera. I hope that my opinion and the opinions of the rest of the other people about Halloween and the added Halloween 2 has satisfied your need of listening to this episode. So I wanted to extend a thank you, and please request something else that I will gladly put in the pipeline, and that also goes for anybody else listening out there. If there's a movie that you want us to talk about and you want to hear our opinions, you want me to get emotional about all these movies that you want to suggest. If you want to hear how I have to say, yeah, exactly. Just email me whatthehellpcast@yahoo.com. Trust me, I'll listen to you, and any messages for Outrageous O, and I'll gladly forward them to him.
Yes, sir.
But just before closing, just want to tell everybody we got shirts. We got big shirts, small shirts, all kinds of shirts. You can get the podcast logo T-shirt, man. It's fucking awesome. You can get them any color you want. I already just got one in pink. He's very happy.
I get balloon, little balloon logos on mine.
Oh, you want a balloon logo?
Yeah, I want a balloon.
I'll see about getting a balloon logo.
I want a balloon.
Yeah, I want a balloon. They all float.
You ain't
down.
getting shit. Shut up.
You shut your face.
I
I
will.
will stab you with a pitchfork.
No, you wouldn't. It's too heavy for you to leave and lift up. Get out of here.
Have fun sleeping tonight.
Yeah, good.
But
Get in my
John,
closet.
If you want to shite, just email me at whatthehellpcast@yahoo.com and I will forward you the way to actually pay for it. They're $15 a piece. You know what I mean? You can get one any size you want, but I was coming down the pipeline because it's getting cold in the East Coast. I got hoodies, I got sweatpants. They're all coming down the pipeline. Soon you will see them on my Instagram. Instagram.com/whatthehellpcast. You can also see it on Facebook.com/whatthehellpcast. You will be able to see it also on Twitter.com/thehellpcast. You can also go on YouTube if you like listening to this audio stuff. You don't like to subscribe on iTunes or Google Play Music because you can get my stuff there. Trust me. You don't want to go to Podbean.com. You can go to YouTube and just listen to all my stuff. I'm working on the pipeline. May 2017. Be on the lookout for a video podcast. We are going to be upgrading very soon. So, stay tuned for that if anybody wants to see our crazy asses in person as we talk about fucking movies.
In color.
Not so good looking John in person. Live.
We'll be bagging him. Trust me. The first episode, we shall be bagging him to make sure if he's appropriate for viewing. You know what I mean? But maybe as each episode comes, it will just tear away a little bit of the bag. You know what I mean? To see if it's...
A lot of people are going to be pissed off. No, we'll be wearing a Michael Myers mask.
No, you'll be wearing a William Shatner mask.
Come on, do the Party City version. Let's do the Party City.
But, so we got the shorts. You got where you can listen to me, where you can follow me. Please follow, like, share. Let me know if there's anything you want us to talk about in the pipeline. Thank you again, Philip Rivera. Jesus, man, everybody, thank Philip Rivera for freaking suggesting this movie for us to watch.
Thank you, Philip.
Thank you, Philip. Good lad.
You're probably going to hate me because of my opinion on the Halloween series, but thank you.
Jesus Christ.
It's true.
John, even I hate you.
So what happens when you're not so good looking. Well, I think it's about a wrap. So why don't we just close it up? So to on my left, who say bye-bye.
This is Horror God closing out.
This is O signing out.
I ain't saying shit.
Well, you said
I'm
so.
just Peace out.
Ooh, peace out. And all I got to say is, peace out, yo.
Goodbye.
Jesus Christ. Everybody say bye-bye. Bye. Nobody even wants to say bye either. Damn, yo, formalities, man. Be nice. Say bye, goddammit. Jesus Christ, you're not even on my show and I'm hearing you laughing all the way over there. If you don't say goodbye right now, this show is just going to keep going till all the fucking night. Sean, say bye-bye. Wow, nobody wants to leave the show.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Ooh, dang, he's saying bye.
I was the last one. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, bye, bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
All right, we're out.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.